Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. As some of you know, I'm a woman in long-term recovery. I am also a CARC, a CRPA, a rape crisis counselor, and a Narcan trainer. If you look at my description box down below, you will find a link to all my social media, things that I've been involved with, other videos that I've done, and my most important thing, as always, is my Amazon wish list. My Amazon wish list is what I use to help people in my local community who are struggling and just need some help during this time. So, with all that being said, today I want to give you guys a little prelude, I guess, to the video. So today I'm going to be talking about somebody that we all pretty much know and have heard about off of Jessica's channel as well. This is somebody that her and I both love and care for very much, and I'm giving you a video and an update from my point of view as a recovery coach, as someone who lives in the same community, someone who has known this guy for years upon years and has seen progress and fallbacks, I guess you could say. So this is going to be a very difficult video to do, and it's going to be very raw and honest. So I just wanted to give you guys that little bit of a prelude so you're aware of what I'm going to be talking about. And you guys can just be mentally prepared, I guess you can say. So I'm going to be talking to you today about Randy. Randy is someone that just dated for a very extended period of time, most of her teen and young adult life. And he is someone that I have been friends with for 10 plus years, we'll say. I met him through her. Her and I had become friends. I want to say friends because back then it wasn't really what it should be, because we were both very active in our addiction and selling drugs, using drugs, doing all the drug things. So I met him probably 6 to 8 months into her and I's friendship, because he had been incarcerated and he came home, and the three of us proceeded to use together, live together, just be very active in our addiction together. He and I developed our own friendship throughout the years, and every time that I've been incarcerated, he has always made sure to write me and pop in and just try and be there for me. Most times that I was incarcerated, so was he. About 2 years ago, when I first started onto the path that I am on now, as far as coaching people and being very proactive and active in my recovery community and community in general, Jess messaged me and was like, girl, I need your help. You are absolutely the person that could help if anyone can help. Randy and his girlfriend overdosed and are in the hospital. And for her own mental health and mental well-being, at this point in time, she couldn't get involved, but her heart was still there and still is and always will be for both of us. So I said, I got you, girl. Like, absolutely. Let me get some details. Let me ask on the street what happened, what's going on. So I did my thing. I got in touch with all my people, found out this, found out that, found out where they were. I actually called the hospital, and it turns out that his girlfriend had been released and that they were waiting on releasing him. So I messaged him on Facebook, like, bro, what's up? What's happening? Like, what could I do to help? I heard what happened. Like, all love. What do you need? And at that point in time, I felt the best plan of action was to offer clean supplies, which I was doing. I'm a syringe peer as well. So I offered clean needles, Narcan, test strips, waters, cookers, the whole 9 yards. And I also came with hygiene products and whatnot for him and both him and his girlfriend, excuse me. We met up, we hung out a little bit, talked, and he was like, I really need some help. Like, I know I don't have much more runs in me. So I was like, okay, what can I do to help you? Like, what can I do to help you through this? What can I do to hold your hand while you navigate this? And he's like, well, I really think maybe I should get put on Suboxone. And I said, perfect. I have a doctor that I work with. I want to say this now as a precursor. I do not receive any kickbacks of any type whatsoever from this doctor that I work with. I do not get a penny, a nickel, a dime, a big gas card, nothing. I do this all out of my own pocket. I front the bill on this 100%. I drive people there. I get them lunch, I get them drinks, I make sure that they're okay, I help them pick up the prescriptions. If they don't have the copay and they can't get it waived because they're at their quota for waiving it, I pay for it. So I do all that out of my own pocket. Okay, that being said, I gave them the information to call the doctor. I asked them if they had health insurance. They did, which was great, because if not, I have my girl that I can work with through Fidelis that would help them get insurance. They called, they made the appointment. The doctor called, verified with me that I would be able to give them the ride and that this was legit, asked for a little back information, which her and I do. We work very closely together. And she also called them in a prescription in the meantime to get them through so they wouldn't go back out. We made the appointment. I took them the following week. Seemed like they were really trying to do the right thing and really trying to help themselves. Whatever that looked like to them at that point in time, they were reducing the harm in their lives because they were taking Suboxone and doing whatever it else is that they needed. I was very, very hopeful and very, very proud and just hopeful that my friend was gonna be okay. The weeks to come after that, they really tried their hardest to maintain and do what was ever needed, and I tried to support them as best as possible. Jared needed someone to help cut wood up at his grandma's house. I told Rainey to get a hold of Jared because he needed to have someone help him, and I figured that would encourage him to be more productive and that he would get paid and have some money in his pocket and do something and feel good. And let's see, what else? Just a multitude of things that I normally wouldn't do with a client because it's not appropriate to have them in my personal life. But since Randy has been my friend for 10 plus years, I felt that this was an appropriate thing to do. As the summer proceeded, they continued to get their Suboxone, but then they were introduced back into meth, I want to say. And unfortunately around here right now, we have a really bad meth problem. I'm sad to say that I was like spot on in 2017 during SMACT when I said that meth would be the new death on the streets. But sadly for our area and most others, it's completely accurate. And our area right now is taking a certain kind of bug spray and spraying it onto a screen, and you attach 2 alligator clips on the side, and then you attach those alligator clips to a 9-volt battery, and once it electrifies, it actually solidifies the liquid and crystallizes it, and people shake it off, and it looks just like meth. It is a very, 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 very toxic, dangerous thing that they're doing, but it is much more accessible for makers and buyers, and it deposits in your muscle tissue. It's just absolutely, it's bad. Like, it's just absolutely horrible. And that's what had happened. So if you look at the card at the top, I'm going to reference Jessica Kent's video and show you some pictures of him and her from over the summer at my house in my backyard. And I called Jess up crying and I said, I don't know how to help him. The psychosis is real. The delusion is real. And I'm scared, like he's gonna die. Like, I don't know what to do anymore at this point. Like, I need you to back me up. Like, I need some help. I just, maybe he'll listen to you. Like, we need to get him into some sort of treatment. Like, it's bad. Like, he's delusional. He's saying things that are crazy. He's making it, it's just, I need some. If I was employed in an agency at this time, this is when I would go to my supervisor and be like, Uncle, like I'm above my pay grade right now. Like, I need some help. So Jess said, okay. She said, let me discuss it with Reese. Let me just, get the girls packed up and I'll be there in 2 days. And in 2 days, my best friend and those little babies all piled into their car and drove 12 hours from Chicago to New York and came and crashed in my house, and for a week we did everything we possibly could to try to love him, force him, yell at him, explain to him, and beg him to save his life. And I'm good at my job. Like, I don't say that in a conceited sense. But I know I'm good at my job. I know I am, because I've been there and I know what it's like and I know how it feels. I was not good at my job this time. And when it's your friend and it's someone you really love, it's really hard to sit there and watch them kill themselves every day. And it's really hard to feel like you're failing this person because you love them so much. And I remember crying to Jared, like literally crying. Like, he's gonna die. I'm watching my friend die. And I spent an entire night with Randy in the hospital. And I kept just praying, like, please let a blood test come back wrong. Please let him say something wrong in front of the wrong person and they admit him, because he needs help. And he's so clever and so intelligent and so likable and so manipulative. He knew when to keep his mouth shut. He knew what he could say to who. They gave him an IV and I watched him twitch for 2-3 hours. At the time I was still on parole. So when it got within like 20-25 minutes of my curfew, I had to call Jess, and her mom had to come to the house and stay with the girls so she could come meet me at the hospital so we could switch off so he wasn't alone, so I could go home and let her mom go home so I could stay with the girls. It was just craziness. And Jess ended up getting him a hotel room, and the delusions and the psychosis got worse. And the next day, Jess and I had a conversation, and I said, I now have to step back because it's affecting my mental health. And I have to take a break for a little bit because I'm a woman in recovery myself, and I have to take care of me, because if I don't take care of me, I cannot take care of anyone else. And at this point, it's just too much. I have to step back. And Jess was like, well, I'm in it right now, so you tap out, I'll tap in. And for a little bit, she tried her hardest too. And then, you know, when someone's like that and you don't give them what they want and you don't feed into it, they get very nasty and they get very mean and hurtful and greedy. And their expectations of what you should do for them are very high. And that's what ended up happening. And this is not just saying this. This is me saying this. He was very nasty to her and very full of expectations. And she needed to step back for her mental health. And I said, okay, your turn to tap out, my turn to tap in. And I tried. Well, no, I'm lying. We both tapped out for a little bit just because we needed to. And he contacted me out of nowhere like, I was a dick, I'm really sorry, I was in a really bad spot, and we have some things going on. My girlfriend is pregnant. And I was like, oh boy, okay. This is my sign. This is my higher power saying, there's a baby involved now. You need to get your ass back in gear. You need to put on your fucking coach hat and you need to jump in. And I did. And I spoke with the Suboxone doctor because they burned their bridge there. And I explained she's pregnant, please. She needs Subutex. Like, we need to step in. We need to help them, da 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 da. And on the strength of me, Suboxone doctor said, okay, because you've asked me to and you're going to be involved. Okay. So we went again. And then I'm not really sure what happened. It was a disaster. And I stepped back and they ended up breaking up. They were both still using. He ended up at someone else's house. I don't know where she was. I did not see her, did not hear from her, nothing. And then all of a sudden they ended up back together. And I have been hearing things and whatnot. And then last week, we ended up seeing them. Randy ended up messaging me and telling me that he had bought a car and he needed Jared's advice on some things and whatnot. And I'm not going to go into their financial business because that's no one's business, but I definitely was lied to. It's par for the course. It's whatever. And we've discussed doing a video together. I just don't think that that's appropriate at this point in time. I don't want to scare anybody. I don't want to embarrass him or have him embarrass himself. I'm scared for them and their baby. It's not good. They have next to nothing. I have given them some baby supplies, very little bit at a time, because I want to give them only what they will be able to use immediately, because I know how it goes. And I don't want those baby items misappropriated. I'm very scared for his mental well-being. He said a lot of things to Jared and I the other day when they were in the car with us and they had stopped by here to borrow a jack to fix this car. And so for me with my health, I feel like it's a direct effect of my addiction for over the years. You can't hold your hand over the fire for that long and think you're not going to get burned. And I think this is the same exact thing that happened with Randy. I think his mental well-being is shot. And I think he has changed the chemicals in his brain so much with all the bad meth and heroin and everything else that he's done that he is just not the same person that I met 10 plus years ago. He talks about crazy things, about seeing things and signs and this and that and, you know, conspiracies and whatnot. And it absolutely breaks my heart because I truly love him. He's extremely likable. He's a huge part of my story. And he's no longer that person anymore. So, unless something dramatic happens, this will be the only update that I give. I have to protect myself and my mental health and my recovery and my sanity at this point. And I just have to take a permanent step back. I'm trying to support her as much as possible because she is pregnant, and I want her to be emotionally prepared when the baby comes, and I want the baby to be okay. Maybe at some point in time she'll be willing to do a video with me. I will let you guys know. But as of right now, both Jess and I we have to protect our mental well-being because this is so heavy and so consuming that it just needs to be handled this way. So I hope you guys enjoyed having an update. I can't imagine you've enjoyed this update much. Remember, guys, we recover loudly so those behind us don't have to suffer in silence. And I will see you guys all in a few days. Bye.